Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the community cloud. Community cloud is another kind of a cloud or cloud deployment model which is a little different from public, private and hybrid cloud. We are going to learn about its benefits, disadvantages, limitations and architecture. Community cloud. Community cloud is another type of cloud computing, or we can say the cloud computing deployment model, in which setup of the cloud is shared manually among different organizations that belong to the same community or area. As the name suggests, then example of such a community is where organizations or firms are there along with the financial institutions or banks. A multi-tenant setup developed using cloud among different organizations that belong to a particular community or a group having similar computing concern. For joint business organizations, ventures, research organizations, and tenders, community cloud is the appropriate solution. Selection of the right type of cloud hosting is essential in this case. Thus, community-based cloud users need to know and analyze the business demand first. Community cloud computing refers to a shared cloud computing service environment that is targeted to a limited set of organizations or employees, such as banks, heads of trading firms, etc. The organizing principle of the community will vary, but members of the community generally share similar security, privacy, performance, and compliance requirements. Community members may wish to invoke a mechanism that is often run by themselves, not just the providers, to review those seeking entry into the community. A community cloud service model that provides a cloud computing solution to a limited number of individuals or organizations that is governed, managed, and secured commonly by all the participating organizations or a third-party managed service provider. Community clouds are hybrid form of private clouds built and operated specifically for a targeted group. That means community clouds are neither public cloud nor private cloud. They are a different kind of a cloud, or you can say a hybrid kind of a private cloud. That means this private cloud created only for a targeted group of people. These communities have similar cloud requirements, and their ultimate goal is to work together to achieve their business objectives. Community clouds are often designed for businesses and organizations working on a joint projects, applications, or research, which requires a central cloud computing facility for building, managing, and executing such projects, regardless of the solution rented. The cloud service shares among various organizations and companies which belong to the same community with the common concerns. This can be managed either by the third party or they used to manage it internally. Organizations have similar computing concern and have shared interest can share it. This type of cloud computing is best compatible with ventures, business organizations, research organizations, and tenders. This benefits the user of community cloud to know and analyze the business demand first. The presence of community cloud can be either on-site or off-site. Community cloud diminishes the cost pressure, security concerns, technical complexities, and lack of specific services. Community cloud is adaptive in nature. How it is adaptive in nature? The community cloud is very adaptive in nature such that there is a very gradual migration processes. Moreover, there are more and more resources available in the data center and migrations can be done at many levels. Examples of community cloud. Community cloud can explain with the help of an example. There are organizations which require applications which is available on one set of the cloud servers. So the companies which are allowing multiple servers will not provide a particular server in the cloud, but they will allow multiple customers to connect to the cloud and segment their sessions. In this, the customer will use the same hardware the other customers are using. That means the particular hardware or underlying infrastructure cannot be changed. It simply means that servers are using the same applications, which makes it a community cloud. Now, benefits of community cloud. First is flexibility and scalability, available and reliable, secure and compliance, improved services. First, flexibility and scalability. The common cloud is or you can say the community cloud is very scalable and flexible as it is most compatible with every user. They can modify as per their use. The cloud will support ways like acquisitions, reductions in branches or employees, or rapid climb. It also permits credit unions to support remote users, permitting employees to figure regardless of what they are. The cloud additionally supports smartphones, tablets, and different devices. The cloud permits credit unions to secure these devices and the data on them. Second benefit is available and reliable. The replication of data is done in the cloud to protect it against the disaster. It is replication as we all know, mirroring of the data. So it is replicated to various places which are safe and secure. The cloud replicates your system, applications, and data to an alternate facility and might build it offered to you at your primary location just in case of uncertainty. That means the cloud is replicating the data or mirroring the data so that at any cost of you can say to any cost, disaster recovery is possible in community cloud, as in application and data are mirrored or copied to different data centers or different facilities which is provided, alternate facility we can see here, and might build it offer to the primary location. Primary location is the location where the community or the consumer is situated. Then, as a result of the servers, applications and data are no longer physically at the base, a disaster at branch or in your region would not stop you from serving members. Since we have replicated or mirrored the data, we have exact multiple copies of the data. Thus, this point helps us. Okay. Next point is, the cloud includes redundant property, networking, storage, hardware, uninterruptible power provide, generators, replicated knowledge stores, on-site fuel, and more. Moreover, the data replicates to an alternate website to make sure your system offers once you want them. That means your data is replicated to another website also, or another website itself, so that whenever your system fails or it is not working, still you are able to access it whenever you want them as per the requirement. Secure and compliance. First point in secure and compliance is the data of the client should be secure and managed properly. When applications and knowledge offer any time and any place from any device, the info ought not to move. In fact, with the cloud, you will be able to block users from downloading. Sensitive data should be kept securely and on the servers. These data should not be kept elsewhere. An intensive security audit revealed that the sensitive data is present on desktops, laptops, backup units, USB drives, smartphones, tablets, and even employees' personal computers. Data gets unfolded all over as a result of the staff copy files to form them offered once and whenever they have them. Next is improved services. Community cloud include all systems, applications and data within the cloud, which removes the requirement to own valuable IT employees to take care of and support those systems. Plus, the community cloud supplier handles computer code updates for you. This will raise a fact that the customers will target the rising companies and services. The cloud-based technology is gradually expanding and will continue in future. It also provides real-time transfers, even if there is a failure of physical hardware. That means if one of the data center of physical infrastructure, hardware, disk drive is not working, still real-time transfer is available in this community cloud. Then, moreover, if a customer plans to migrate, there is no downtime for the virtual machine and the steps executes easily. That means the machine in community cloud or virtual machine in community cloud mostly works on uptime. Next point is openness. By removing the dependency on cloud vendors, community clouds are open systems in which fair competition between different solutions can happen. Next is graceful features or graceful failures. Since there is no single provider or vendor in control of the infrastructure, there is no single point of failure. Community. Being based on a collective that provides resources and services, the infrastructure turns out to be more scalable because the system can grow simply by expanding its user base. Next point is convenience and control. Within a community cloud, there is no conflict between convenience and control because the cloud is shared and owned by the community or a specific community, which makes all the decisions through a collective democratic process. Next point is environmental sustainability. The community cloud is supposed to have a smaller carbon footprint because it harnesses underutilized resources. Moreover, these clouds tend to be more organic by growing and shrinking in a symbiotic relationship to support the demand of the community, which in turn sustains it. There are many cloud providers which have shown their interest in community cloud and created community cloud offering. The basic principle behind that is that with the help of cloud computing, the companies gather the pieces which benefit them towards their businesses. Community clouds are distributed systems created by integrating the services of different clouds to address the specific needs of industry, a community, or a business sector. The NIST, or you can say the National Institute of Standards and Technologies, characterizes community cloud as follows. The infrastructure is shared by several organizations and supports a specific community that has shared concerns. Example, mission, security requirements, policy, and compliance considerations. It may be managed by the organizations or a third party and may exist on premise or off premise. There is a diagram for community cloud. It includes the infrastructure, development platforms, application services. Now, what kind of organizations support them or have them? Want to go to the community cloud or avail the services of this community cloud? They are the federal and the government bodies, industries, enterprises, public services, and private users, all of them with the similar target, or you can say similar kind of a community wants to access this particular cloud, which is the hybrid kind of a private cloud. The above figure provides a general view of the usage scenario of community clouds together with reference architecture. The user of a specific community cloud fall into a well-identified community sharing the same concerns or needs, that they can be government bodies, industries, or even simple users, but all of them focus on the same issues for their interactions with the cloud. This is a different scenario than public clouds, which serve a multitude of users with different needs. Community clouds are also different from private clouds, where the services are generally delivered within the institution that owns the cloud. Community cloud. The promise of community clouds is that they allow multiple independent entities to gain the cost benefits of a shared non-public cloud while avoiding security and regulatory concerns that might be associated with using a generic public cloud that did not address such concerns in its service level agreements. This model has tremendous potential for entities or companies that are subject to identical regulatory compliance or legal restrictions. Different kinds of community clouds are being considered in United States and the European Union by governments at the national and local levels. This great sense, since there are multiple benefits to both the individual entities as well as collectively. For instance, when multiple government agencies that transact businesses with each other have their processing collected or co-located in a single facility, they can achieve both savings and increased security in terms of reducing the amount of traffic that would otherwise need to traverse the internet. Continuity of operations can also be enhanced at a lower overall cost to all parties when multiple data centers are used to implement such a community cloud. From an architectural point of view, a community cloud is most likely implemented over multiple administrative domains. This means that different organizations such as government bodies, private enterprises, research organizations, and even public virtual infrastructure providers contribute with their resource to build the cloud infrastructure. Candidate sectors for community clouds are as follows. First is media industry. In media industry, companies are looking for low cost, agile and simple solutions to improve the efficiency of content production. Most media productions involve an extended ecosystems of partners. In particular, the creation of digital content is the outcome of a collaborative process that includes movement of large data, massive compute intensive rendering task and complex workflow executions. Community clouds can provide a shared environment where services can facilitate business to business collaboration and offer the horsepower in terms of aggregate bandwidth, CPU, and storage required to efficiently support media production. Second industry is the healthcare industry. In healthcare industry, there are different scenarios in which community clouds could be of use. In particular, community clouds can provide a global platform on which to share information and knowledge without revealing sensitive data maintained within the private infrastructure. The naturally hybrid deployment model of community clouds can easily support the storing of patient-related data in a private cloud while using the shared infrastructure for non-critical services and automating processes within hospitals. The third is the energy and other core industry. In these sectors, community clouds can bundle the comprehensive set of solutions that together vertically address management, deployment, and orchestration of services and operations. Since these industries involve different providers, vendors, and organizations, a community cloud can provide the right type of infrastructure to create an open and fair market. Next comes the public sector. Legal and political restrictions in the public sector can limit the adoption of public cloud offering. Moreover, governmental processes involve several institutions and agencies and are aimed at providing strategic solutions at local, national, and international administrative levels. They involve business to administration, citizen to administration, and possibly business to business processes. Some examples include invoice approval, infrastructure planning, and public hearings. Then, a community cloud can also constitute the optimal venue to provide a distributed environment in which to create a communication platform for performing such operations. Next area is the scientific research. Science clouds are an interesting example of community clouds. In this case, the common interest driving different organizations sharing a large distributed infrastructure is scientific computing. The term community cloud can also identify a more specific type of cloud that arises from concerns over the controls of vendors in cloud computing and that aspire to combine the principles of digital ecosystems with the case of study of cloud computing. A community cloud is formed by harnessing the underutilized resources of user machines and providing an infrastructure in which each can be at the same time a consumer, a producer, or a coordinator of the services offered by the cloud. Next is security considerations in community cloud. Community cloud present a special set of circumstances when it comes to the security, because there will be multiple organizations accessing and controlling the environment. First is data. In a community cloud, all the participants in the community may have access to the data. For this reason, you do not want to store any data that is restricted to only your organization. You could be setting yourself up for a big headache if you do. Next is compliance. In a community cloud, compliance can be particularly tricky. The systems will be subject to all the compliance regulations to which each of the member organizations is subject. So, the organization may be subject to regulations with which you have little familiarity. Next is auditing. In a community cloud, member organizations will have shared access to all the applications and system audit logs. You will want to have some agreement as to who will perform what activities. Trolling through logs can be particularly tedious and time consuming. So you do not want people wasting time doing duplicate work. Here are some key disadvantages to consider about community cloud. The first one is network connection dependency, limited features, loss of control, security, and technical issues. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned to Ekeeda. Subscribe to Ekeeda.